Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Helen and you are watching Stitch Rip Repeat, and I'm doing a review today. And I haven't been on here for quite a while. I'm really not quite back in the flow of regular sewing or filming or anything like that. I know I've heard a lot of people the same. The whole lockdown situation and everything that's going on in the world at the moment, I haven't quite got back to how I was prior to March, and so there's been a lack of videos maybe from me, and also a lack of enthusiasm on my side to do anything. However, I made this back at the summer, beginning of summer. I'm not sure what date it was, but anyone who went on the sewing weekender, which was online this year for obvious reasons, it was that weekend. I didn't do the sewing weekender, funnily enough. I didn't join in because I was home alone with my children, and I just didn't think I'd have the relaxing space and time to be able to enjoy the weekender as much as I would like. When I do retreats, which I've done a few, usually a bag retreat, the main part of the retreat that I like is going away from home and sewing away from family. Apologies, children. And the no interruption, etc. So I didn't think I'd get the same out of it. But then, funnily enough, I actually ended up sewing this on that weekend. So it's almost like I did do a sewing weekender, just not the same one as everyone else. So the pattern that I'm going to talk about is a very popular pattern, so I suspect a lot of you have heard of it, if not already made it, and that is the Sirocco Jumpsuit, and it is by Deer and Doe, which is a very popular French pattern company. I have the paper copy, as you can see here, and the one I'm going to show you was actually intended to be a toile because I had a couple of other fabrics picked out. But what it turned out to be was a lovely jumpsuit, and I wore it quite a lot over summer, and I will still make the other version. But this is a very wearable jumpsuit that I'm really happy with. So let me run through how I got on. So first of all, I always trace my patterns because I feel that I get more use out of the pattern, because then if someone else wanted me to make them, obviously I could then trace their size, whereas if I'd already cut it out, I couldn't do anything. And actually it turned out really well in this particular instance, because I made this, like I say, a few months ago, and I will show you that it's actually a little bit on the large side for me now, as I think I have lost nearly a stone since I made this pattern. So I'm glad I didn't cut it out, because obviously if I make another one, I'll probably make it smaller. So onto the pattern. Stop waffling, Helen. So on the back, it gives your measurements, and I would show it to the camera, but I think I'll probably pop a photo in. My measurements actually put me at between a size 44 and 46, which is the two larger sizes. But the finished garments had me more like a 42. So I decided that as it's a knit and therefore stretch, I would go with the 42. However, the waist measurements didn't go up to my waist measurements at all. So what I decided was I didn't use the pattern piece for the waist measurement at all. I just made a waistband by testing it actually around my waist and judging how much I needed, and obviously how much I needed for the seam allowance, etc. Bearing in mind it needs to stretch enough to be able to get on and off, because it's the only way of getting on and off is pulling it over you. There's no zips or buttons or anything. And then when it's on, it needs to be snug enough to not look shapeless. So I cut out the 42, as I say, and I didn't follow the lovely little booklet they give you. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a brilliant little booklet. It's got really easy to understand directions, and it's also got good illustrations that I think, you know, fairly straightforward for anyone to be able to follow. And it is honestly a really simple sew. But what I did do instead, because I'm very much a visual person, is I followed a tutorial video that the lovely Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door did, and I basically sat with her on my iPad next to me while sewing away and followed her. So thank you, Andrea. For anyone who's interested, I will pop her tutorial down in the description below, and also anything I mention, I always try and put them in the description box, so do have a look there after you've watched this video. So as I say, I cut out the size 42 and I was pretty happy with the sizing and the fit. I made a couple of adjustments. As I said, I did the waistband myself. I just made that specifically to fit my waist without using the pattern piece. I also cut off, I would say, a good 3 inches off the bottom of the legs. I'm not sure if it says here what size person it's designed for. Hold on one second. Okay, I have to admit defeat. I can't find on the pattern anywhere that says what size it's drafted for, but I'm 5'5", and as I say, I took a good 3 inches off the bottom of the legs. And then I also would, another time, I would do a narrow shoulder adjustment. So I will probably put some video in later so you'll be able to see better, but my shoulder really finishes about here, and the sleeve is here. So I need to just make that narrow shoulder adjustment so the sleeves are sitting nicely a little bit higher. But other than that, it went really well. I'll pop in some video footage so that hopefully you can see, and you'll be able to see this lovely fabric is a viscose jersey, and I got it from the lovely Shirl at So Affordable Fabrics. As I thought it was a toile, I think I got 3 meters of this for, it was either £3 or £3.50 a meter. And you can see hopefully in the video, it's got this fabulous, lovely, different leaves all over it, which I absolutely loved. I tried to avoid the leaf on chest thing going on. I did have this lovely leaf going on the side here, but I mostly have got them on my legs and my back, and I really love the fabric. And when I was out and about, I got a lot of compliments in it in the summertime when I wore it. So my overall impression was that it's a really straightforward sew. It's a very flattering make. You do, as lots of people have said, you do need to make sure that the fabric, the stretch fabric that you choose has a good amount of stretch, because it, and a good recovery, because it does need to get over your hips to get on and then sit on your waist. But obviously you've got to be able to get in and out of it by just pulling it on and off. So it needs to have a really good stretch. They recommend at least 60%, and then a good recovery so that it obviously flatters by cinching in at the waist. And the way you do this, if nobody is sure, is that, here we go. If you get 10 centimeters of fabric and you lay it down flat, you hold your thumb at the end, and then if you get that end piece, if you can stretch it, that fabric, to at least 16 centimeters, then you've got at least your 60%. Okay, if you can't stretch it that much, then I would be wary of using that particular fabric in this case. So I hopefully have done some twirling by magic next to the next to me here, and you'll be able to see. But I have to say, I absolutely love this Sirocco. I love a good jumpsuit because, as everyone who makes them says, they are like secret pajamas. Every time I wore these out and about, I felt so comfortable and yet so flattering. They are a lovely shape, and I highly recommend them. I'm definitely making another one. Oh, I'll just get the fabric to show you. 1 second. Okay, sorry. So the fabrics I'm going to use are these two gorgeous fabrics here. And this will be the legs and the waistband and this band around the neck. And then this is just going to be, oh, there we go. This one's going to be the front bodice and the back bodice. So it'll be like, this will be on top, this will be on the bottom, but this will also be the neckband. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. Trying to think what I might not have told you. I overlocked everything. So I only got my sewing machine out to top stitch, and I'll try and insert photos where you needed to top stitch, and also around hemming the sleeves and the bottom of the legs. But everything else I just whizzed up on the overlocker. So once cut out, and sewing took 2-ish hours to sew up, and then you've got this lovely jumpsuit and all the different fabrics. Like I say, I think it's going to look completely different in these two to how it does in this lovely fabric I have here. And I think if you wanted to jazz it up a bit and have like a sparkly jumpsuit, especially now we're coming near Christmas, I think that would look just fabulous. So that is about it. I'm sorry if I waffled. I've not done a video for a while and I think I've gotten out of practice. But I loved this sew. I love this pattern. I definitely will make more. And I'd love to hear if you've made any. If you are one of the lovely new subscribers I've had recently, because I've had a whole bunch in the last few months, welcome. It's fantastic to have you here. I'm so glad that you found me, and I'm so glad you bared with me because I haven't put a huge amount of videos out at all, but I do hope to get back more back into the swing of things and put more videos out for you. I am planning to film a tour of my little sewing space today, and so hopefully that will be out soon as well. I just need to give the room a little bit of a tidy up and then we'll be good to go. But I am also going to be showing you my most recent make in a video, probably along with a little bit of chit chat. And that was my first ever Stella hoodie. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen some sneak peeks of it. So that will also be in a video coming soon. And I hope you have enjoyed this one. I hope I haven't waffled too much for you. Do the Sirocco if you haven't already tried it. Let me know what you think. Press all those little likes and thumbs ups for me, and I love to hear all the comments from all of you on my videos, so please keep that up. I always try to answer everyone. It may not be straight away. I may put a day aside and then you'll suddenly get your reply, but I definitely read them all as soon as they come in, and I absolutely love the interaction with everybody. So I will sign off for now. Hopefully have this video up soon, and then more to come with my tour of my room and some makes, and then projects I've got coming up in the future. So wishing you all the best whatever you are doing, and I will see you in my next video.